So I was on Instagram recently, and by the way, if you are not following me on Instagram, you should be. It's at Keisha Rice. But anyways, I was on Instagram and I saw that someone had regrammed the one of the videos of Tasha Cobbs Leonard singing the gospel song "Break Every Chain," and of course I stopped to watch it because I love the song and everything. But it got me thinking about one of the biggest limiting beliefs that can sometimes keep women from finding love. And that is this belief that because they've never seen a happy, successful relationship, they didn't grow up in that environment, that it is impossible for them to call in a successful relationship themselves. Hey, LaTorsha. Hey, Tasha. I hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. So, I wanted to talk about this, and I wanted to talk about breaking the chains of not seeing successful relationships around you and how to get around this limiting belief. Because here's the thing, I am very blessed. Hey, Rankisha. I am very blessed because my parents have been married and together for well over 30 years at this point. And it is amazing to see their relationship and how they interact with each other, and also how they deal with conflict and how they deal with those moments where they love each other but they may not necessarily like each other in the moment. I have learned so many things from that. But I am only weeks away from getting married myself, and one of the things that came up in this whole process of planning our wedding and being engaged and everything is the fact that my fiance had some concerns because his parents are not married, and he was wondering about how he was going to navigate that, learning how to be a great husband when he didn't necessarily have that in his life. So I understand that this is a fear for a lot of people. And I have it in my own family as well, because yes, I talk about the fact that my parents have been married for over 30 years, but I have a sister who is 12 years older than me. I have a brother who is 10 years older than me, and when they were born, their parents, in the case of my sister, she and I share the same father, my brother and I share the same mother, their parents were not together. So they came from this environment of growing up in single parent homes. My mom was a single mother when she met my dad. And, in the case of my parents, they came from parents, my grandparents, who were divorced on both sides of my family. My dad's parents divorced and my mom's parents divorced. So you take two people who are children of divorced parents and they come together. They ended up creating a family with myself and my brother and my sister, and they've had this successful marriage. But I want to talk about how they got there, because again, I see this so often that people, especially women, will come to me and they say, Keisha, I don't have that in my life. I don't know what it looks like to have a healthy relationship. I've never had a healthy relationship myself. I didn't see healthy relationships growing up. So how am I now supposed to go about into this world of dating and not only attract a high quality man who is going to respect and cherish me, but to be honest, I'm scared that when I do attract him, this relationship's not going to work out because I'm not going to know what to do. So there are a few things that I want you to start thinking about and start implementing, because those are the things that are going to help you once you get into these relationships, to make sure that these relationships are sustainable. Hey, Kathleen. Hey, Belinda. By the way, guys, if you're watching me live, use the hashtag #CherishedWoman so that if you're not commenting and I, for some reason, don't see you come up, I can say hello later. And if you're watching this later, use replay. So again, how to deal with this limiting belief of, I didn't have healthy relationships in my life, so how am I supposed to have one myself? For starters, the Bible says, study to show thyself approved. And Psalms, it talks about how God's word is a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. So I want you to, if you don't have these healthy relationships in your life, I want you to start studying. Start reading relationship books. Start reading the Bible and looking at couples in the Bible. If you need a place to start, go to my business page on Facebook and go to about December, the posts during that month, around right after Christmas actually. I did a whole 5-day live event it was called Magnetize Your Godly Man. And in that event, I spent 5 days and I looked at a different biblical couple and about what those relationships can teach us as we are trying to have better relationships in our lives, as you are trying to go from pre-wife to the wife. So look in the Bible, look at these couples, take some notes. Look at, hey, what can this relationship teach me about having a godly relationship? You know, there are many great relationship books out there. There are many great articles, websites that are dedicated to relationships. And I'm not saying you should follow every guru out there, because honestly, some of these dating coaches and dating experts are single. And I'm not really a fan of the idea of following someone who doesn't practice what they preach. But you will find a lot of really great ones out there, and that is a great starting point. So once you start doing that, you'll start to see, hey, a healthy relationship is possible for me. And once you are entering that, there's this saying that people in the business world hear all the time, and it's this idea that you are the average of the, I believe it's 7 people that you hang out with. So the idea is that birds of a feather flock together. You know, the type of people that you hang around, those are the type of people that you'll become. So if you don't know what it means to have a healthy relationship, then it's time for you to start making some friends who you are able to see that in. So you need to become friends with a woman who is happily married. You need to become friends with, if you can, more than one woman who's happily married. You need to become friends with women that you see that are out here dating and they're having healthy relationships. They are meeting men who are quality. And not only will you get to see that modeled, but you may be introduced to one of those quality men yourself. So there's a bonus in that. But you need to start having women like that in your life. You also need to make sure that that is in your social, who you're hanging out with. So if that means that on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, whatever your social media of choice is, maybe it's time for you to start unfriending and unfollowing some of the people who are constantly posting about men or dogs. Maybe it's time for you to mute some of the people who are constantly posting about how all relationships are terrible. And instead, maybe it's time for you to start spending more time following, liking pages or accounts that are more about positive relationships. Make sure that your social media friends, whether they're your real life friends or people that you admire and that you follow, make sure that they are talking this talk as well, because when you're surrounded by that, what you focus on magnifies. So if you're hearing all the time about healthy relationships, if you're seeing healthy relationships, pictures, videos of couples who are happy, who are in a healthy, committed relationship, then you will start to call that into your life. And the third thing is, you should consider whether or not it's time for you to have some type of mentor. So maybe that is in your church, approaching a woman and saying, hey, you are in a happy, committed marriage and you've been married for a long time, so I want to learn from you and spend some more time with you. But that also might mean that you need to take the further step of hiring a mentor, hiring a coach who can teach you how to get there, how to go from pre-wife to the wife, and how to become the cherished woman who allows a godly man into her life, and the type of man who is going to want to cleave to her and want to commit to her. Because here's the thing, you're already a successful woman in the other areas of your life. you are successful in getting your education. You are successful in having that career and moving up the ladder in your industry. Or you're successful because you went out there and you started your own business and now you're making some things happen for yourself. And you have those successes in those areas of your life. You're successful in your friends and in also creating better relationships with your family members. It's time for you to learn how to be successful. Hey, Brandy. It's time for you to be successful when it comes to love as well. And the same way that you invested in your career and your education, it's time for you to invest in your love life and in your relationship. So that may mean not just your investment of money, but also your investment of time as well. So again, if you are in a situation where you're afraid that you're not going to be able to call in a high quality godly man because you've never seen successful relationships, because you're surrounded by single parenthood or divorce, or men who've walked away in your life, men who've walked away in the lives of women around you, then it is time to start studying. It is time to up-level the circle of people that you hang around and up-level the types of people and accounts that you follow on social media. And it is time to get a mentor, someone who is living that life and can show you how she got there as well. So I want you guys to take these in consideration, and if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments because I will come back and answer those. And also make sure that you are following me on Instagram as well, at Keisha Rice, and make sure you note the spelling of my name. And I will talk to you guys later. Hey Dorothy, you are coming on right at the end of this video, so feel free to go back to the beginning and watch it. But we were just talking about what to do if you do not have healthy relationships in your life and you're afraid that that is going to keep you from having a healthy relationship yourself. So I love you guys all so much. I love this group so much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.